Every 40 seconds, someone suffers a stroke, and after 50, the risk rises sharply. But here's what most people don't realize. One of your daily habits, something as simple as the way you walk, could be silently increasing that risk. As a neurologist, I see it all the time. Patients who thought they were doing everything right, only to discover that one mistake was working against them. The good news: fixing it doesn't take years or complicated treatments. It starts with awareness and a few smart changes. In this video, we're going to uncover the dangerous habit you may be repeating every day, how it silently affects your brain, and what you can do to turn walking into one of the safest, most powerful tools for your health. If you care about protecting your brain and preventing a stroke, hit the subscribe button now, because what you learn here might just save your life. A stroke isn't just another medical term you hear on the news. It's one of the most serious health threats men and women face after 50. Simply put, a stroke happens when blood flow to the brain is suddenly interrupted. Without that flow, brain cells start dying within minutes, leaving behind damage that can change a life forever. There are two main types of stroke, and knowing the difference matters. Ischemic strokes are the most common. They happen when a clot blocks blood flow. Hemorrhagic strokes are less frequent but often deadlier, caused by a blood vessel bursting and bleeding into the brain. Both are medical emergencies. The numbers are sobering. Stroke is the second leading cause of death worldwide and a top cause of long-term disability. For people over 50, the risk climbs sharply, especially if other conditions like high blood pressure or diabetes are in the picture. Understanding what a stroke is and why it matters is the first step toward prevention. The goal isn't to live in fear, but to live informed. And that means looking closer at daily habits, even the ones we think are harmless, like how we walk. Walking is often called the most underrated form of exercise, and for good reason. For people over 50, it improves circulation, supports heart health, and delivers more oxygen to the brain, keeping it sharp and active. Research consistently links regular walks to lower stroke risk and better overall brain function. This simple movement does more than burn calories. Walking helps control blood pressure, one of the biggest risk factors for stroke. Every step encourages healthier arteries and better balance in the body's systems, which is why doctors often recommend it for older adults. But here's the catch: not all walking habits are equally healthy. Certain behaviors, things we don't even think about, can quietly undo some of those benefits. When repeated daily, they can even put unnecessary strain on the brain and cardiovascular system. That's why it's not enough to just go for a walk. How you walk matters. And understanding which habits are helpful and which ones might be harmful is essential for anyone who wants to keep their brain and their future protected. Here's the surprising truth: a daily walk can be one of the best things you do for your health, or it can slowly create risks you never expected. The difference often comes down to one simple but overlooked habit: walking without proper hydration, especially under intense heat or for long periods. When the body is dehydrated, blood becomes thicker, circulation slows, and blood pressure can spike. For someone over 50, that combination is dangerous. It silently increases the strain on blood vessels and can trigger the conditions that lead to a stroke. The problem gets worse when walks happen under the midday sun or in warm weather. Sweating without replacing fluids pulls even more water from the body, raising the chance of dizziness, fainting, and, in the long run, creating the perfect storm for vascular problems. Many people think they are just a little thirsty, but dehydration during exercise isn't minor. Over time, this habit can shift from an inconvenience to a silent threat, one that neurologists are now warning could raise stroke risk without anyone realizing it. Every time you walk dehydrated, you're putting your brain through stress it was never meant to handle. Blood circulation slows, meaning less oxygen and nutrients reach brain cells. Over time, this lack of supply can create small but significant damage, microlesions that silently build up. As dehydration thickens the blood, the heart has to pump harder, pushing up blood pressure. For someone already managing hypertension, this is like adding fuel to a fire. The risk of a blood vessel blockage, or even a rupture, becomes higher. The brain is especially sensitive to these changes. When oxygen levels drop, it triggers warning signs, headaches, lightheadedness, or even blurred vision. Ignore these signs long enough, and you create the very environment where a stroke can happen. This isn't an overnight issue, it's the result of daily repetition. That just one more walk without water may seem harmless, but done day after day, it quietly erodes the brain's resilience, until one day, the damage is no longer silent. Your body is constantly sending messages. The question is whether you're listening. When walking habits start to stress the brain, the first signals are often subtle. Dizziness, a sudden wave of fatigue, or even a light headache might feel easy to dismiss, but they are early red flags. Another sign to take seriously is blurred vision or difficulty focusing. If your brain isn't getting enough oxygen and blood flow, your eyes are among the first to show it. That hazy feeling isn't just getting older, it's your body asking for help. Some people also experience weakness or a heavy sensation in the limbs, sometimes during or right after a walk. This can be a sign that circulation is struggling to keep up, and in severe cases, it may be a precursor to something far more serious. If any of these symptoms appear suddenly or intensely, it's time to stop walking immediately and seek medical help. For men and women over 50, ignoring these signals is one of the fastest ways to turn a preventable problem into a life-changing event. Walking should be one of the safest, most beneficial activities you can do after 50, but only if done correctly. The key is turning every walk into a health boost instead of an unnecessary risk. Small adjustments can make a huge difference. First, posture matters. Keep your eyes forward, shoulders relaxed, and back straight. Looking down constantly can strain the neck and affect blood flow, while proper alignment helps the entire body function better. Second, stay hydrated. Drink water before your walk, take a bottle with you, and sip as needed, especially if it's warm outside. Dehydration is one of the biggest hidden risks, and preventing it is one of the simplest solutions. Finally, choose the right time and gear. Walking early in the morning or later in the afternoon avoids the harsh midday heat. Wear comfortable shoes that support your feet and reduce strain. Together, these habits turn walking into a safe, powerful tool for long-term brain and heart health. Some people can get away with small mistakes, but for others, those same mistakes can turn deadly. If you already live with certain health conditions, the wrong walking habits magnify the risks in ways that can't be ignored. Uncontrolled high blood pressure is at the top of that list. When blood pressure spikes during dehydration or overexertion, fragile vessels in the brain are put under intense strain, increasing the likelihood of a stroke. Conditions like diabetes, obesity, and high cholesterol also make things worse. They affect circulation, damage blood vessels, and reduce the body's ability to recover from stress. Add a poor walking routine on top of that, and the danger multiplies. Even a long sedentary period followed by sudden intense effort is risky. The body isn't prepared, the cardiovascular system is shocked, and the brain feels the impact. Understanding these risk factors isn't about fear, it's about knowing who needs to be extra cautious. Even with the right habits, prevention isn't complete without regular checkups. For men and women over 50, this is not optional, it's essential. Doctors can detect small problems long before they become dangerous, and that's what keeps you safe. Start with the basics: blood pressure checks at every visit, cholesterol tests, and blood sugar monitoring if you're at risk for diabetes. These numbers tell the story of your vascular health, and knowing them can prevent the conditions that lead to stroke. Neurologists and cardiologists may also recommend imaging tests, like a carotid artery Doppler, to see if plaque buildup is quietly narrowing blood flow to the brain. These exams might sound intimidating, but they can save your life. The message is clear: walking is powerful medicine, but only when combined with smart habits, awareness, and regular medical care. Together, they form the best defense against one of the most feared health threats after 50. Before you go, here's something important: you don't have to navigate stroke prevention alone. Join our channel's Members Club for exclusive videos, early access to new health insights, and practical tips designed for people over 50 who want to stay sharp and active. Now, remember this, walking can be one of the greatest allies for your brain, or, if done the wrong way, a hidden threat. The choice comes down to awareness. Hydrate, walk with good posture, choose safe times of day, and get your checkups. These simple steps aren't just good advice, they could be life-saving. So here's my challenge to you. Start putting this into practice today. Share this video with someone you care about, hit like, and subscribe to the channel. Small actions like these can help spread life-saving information and might just prevent the next stroke before it ever happens.